Hi, and welcome to Crypto Crazy. I'm Cal, and today I'm going to talk about a new project in the NFT world that had its IDO today on Polkastarter and is a very exciting project, and it has some great backers behind it as well. Mr. Beast, where you may have seen his YouTube channel, and actually Binance as well. And that project is Refinable. So Refinable you can buy on Pancakeswap. CoinMarketCap has got it listed under its name. However, it hasn't pulled the market data through, so you can't see anything to do with the prices. However, I'm going to go into the prices. I'm going to go also into the market cap as well. However, you can find it at the moment using the ticker FINE, fine, and I'll show you here on Pancakeswap as well. That's the value that it is at the moment, and I'll go into exactly how much that is currently. So it had its IDO today, like I mentioned, on Polkastarter. And just going into the details, that was at 1 p.m. UTC. Then it was listed an hour later on Pancakeswap, which is just a bit more than 4 hours ago. And what we'll see here is the all-time high was just over 100x at that time, and it's come down a little bit since then. So a couple of things here. Let's just have a look initially at the price. It was 3 cent.3. It is now around about $2.60, and the market cap is around about $70 million. So that's just to kind of give you an indication of where this project is at the moment. Now, you may be thinking it's gone up a considerable amount since the IDO, but if you see, not much was raised through the IDO, only 180,000, and the maximum cap was 180. So not many people getting into it there either. So the real value, I believe, is once it has hit the exchange, a lot of demand initially, and then it does balance down to where it probably should be. So that's where it is at the moment. And let's just get into the details of what this project is. So as it mentions here, redefining the NFT experience for all users, community, and brands. So it's very much about creating NFTs, discovering them, trading them as well, and leveraging them to have other uses from them. They have a great pitch deck, and I'll get into that in a minute. But as you can see, they've got a number of art pieces already on it, and this is what I was mentioning in terms of the investment. So they've got Mr. Beast, who is a very popular YouTuber, and as it mentions here, he has over 60 million subscribers, and they have Binance invested in it as well, which is obviously quite exciting. And I think what differentiates a lot of these NFT marketplaces projects out there at the moment is very much the team behind it, and this has quite a well-rounded team with good experience. So I'll get into that as well. So this just shows who they're partnering with as well, and then it says the definitive NFT hub. So what can you do on there? Like I was mentioning, you can create your own NFT, so you can create into whatever art you may have by tokenizing it, discover and get discovered, and that's very much a marketplace. So once you are on their platform, you can upload your own NFT, and that can be discovered by others. And similarly, if you're interested in buying, you can get it on there as well. And this is a very fast growing market. I believe this year it's 250 million US dollar market, which is very big, and it will continue growing. Here it mentions trade and share with anyone, so you can exchange, auction, or even gift your goods entirely on your terms. So that can be allowed through this platform to Refinable. And here it says leverage their full potential, deploy your NFTs via various means to unlock their deepest values. And that's very much what other uses you can have for them as well. Then it goes into a little bit more detail about the marketplace, ultra low transaction fees, customizable distribution options, energy efficient processing. And this is something that we're seeing as well in the NFT world. The processing can be very energy efficient, not having to use much resources to be able to create these NFTs. A lot of them allowing you to even do it via apps on your phone, which is quite good. And it just goes into the details what NFTs are: scarce by design, customizable distributions, how you wish to distribute them, content agnostic, decentralized trade, high performance, low fees, community governance, eco-friendly. So the usual sort of things that you would expect to see in such a project. I will add a link to this. You can read it in a bit more detail. And as I mentioned, they have a pitch deck, which again I will link, which goes into more detail as well. And I think it's quite useful to read. So here a little bit more about the token, and obviously everything in terms of the utility on that platform will be through this fine token. So if you do want to buy, you do want to list, you do want to do whatever you want, and it has community voting as well, will all be through the utility of their token. So looking ahead, what have they done? What are they going to do? It's very much about setting up in Q1, Q2, the security audit, which is always important, the mainnet launch, and there's a lot of marketing behind it as well, and building the community and getting artists on board as well. Then quarter three talks about royalties for it, and talks about trading, currencies made public, profile verification, community drops as well, social features. So it's very much building out what the functionality of that platform will be and how it would operate in terms of the art and the artists. And the royalties is very much about if art is resold, royalties can be paid to the artist. And again, that's one great thing about NFTs too. Quarter four, building on the community, more integrations in terms of the socials. You can make donations, mobile support as well, which I think is great, as I was mentioning, the apps, and you can have collections too. So a lot of great things coming up. The token distribution, the token economics, pretty much standard what you would like to see. Again, I'll add the link so you can have a look at the details, but nothing unusual or extraordinary there. And here is what I was talking about, the team. So the teams do really make a difference, not only who you have, but how much of a resource you have as well in terms of experience and power behind it too. So you've got the two co-founders, Nick Chang and Maxim Grenick, and these two individuals, Maxim is a engineer who has a lot of experience. Nick Chan is very much involved in the digital world and has a vast amount of experience as well. So a considerable sized team, experience in this type of industry, and I think this is what makes a good difference. And they certainly got the backing as well. Sometimes you can have the manpower and the resources, but you may not have the funds to be able to execute on that as well. And advisors are always great as well, because you can leverage their knowledge, their experience, to make sure that you are doing what you do need to do, especially when you are in a new project. So as you can see here, Michael's the founder of Box Mining, and that is great. You can bring that experience, and you got Elvin here as well, with knowledgeable blockchain advisor, innovator. So I think generally all round that is pretty good. And as I mentioned, the deck as well, again, it goes into details as to what NFTs are, what the problem is they're trying to solve, what their vision is, and just in terms of how they're going about doing it. And they talk about the main sort of 4 points: the creation, the discovery, the distribution of it, and the leveraging. But again, I will add this in. It's a lot of the details is what I'm kind of going over, but it just goes into a little bit more detail for you. And just looking at the community, they've built a considerable size community in the last few months, nearly 100,000 followers on here. And I think just generally people like this as a project. They're building a community behind it as well. And I think the fact that they do have a good team and they also have some good backing behind it as well makes a big difference. And they can already demonstrate that they are getting art pieces which will be on there as well. They've got a good roadmap too. And for that reason, I think it's something that will grow and do very, very well. Like I said, a lot of projects out there in the NFT world It's very hard to know who's going to be doing well, who isn't. I think there's a lot of projects there who are jumping on the bandwagon and just trying to see, well, if NFTs are doing very, very well, let's try to do something in there. But it makes a big difference when you have the experience and you have the team behind it as well. And that makes a really, really big difference. So I think that is what you definitely do need. So there you have it. That is Refinable. Again, I think it's quite a good project. I'll add the links below so you can have a look in the details. I think it's one that will do very, very well. So if you have found that useful, as always, please do give me a like. Please do consider subscribing. I do bring out these type of videos. It's quite a wide range, news, views, new coins, and so on. So please do consider subscribing. But there you go. That's Refinable. I hope you found that enjoyable. If you do like that, as I mentioned, do subscribe. And I've been Cal, this Crypto Crazy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.